Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Yeah. My name's Jennifer Young. I am the District 2 Director, and I'm here to introduce your presenters for the Big Goal Accelerator workshop. So this is Tracy Edwards. She's the S&R Federation Program Chair. I'm going to tell you some of her superstar qualities. Tracy's superstar quality is that she's trained as a trained facilitator, and she's used her training to help clubs by guiding the retreats into productive afternoons. She enables presidents to participate in the discussions, voting, and laughter, because that's important, as they and their members plan their upcoming year. And then we have Idel Claypool back here. She's a past S&R District 3 Director. Idel's superstar quality is that she gets stuff done, even though she procrastinates. She has displayed this while serving in multiple offices in her club and as District Director. So this is the Big Goal Accelerator. Thank you.
With a show of hands, how many people know what a Big Goal Accelerator is? Did you want to say?
Me?
Yeah.
It's the projects that you use to try and meet our $500,000 girl goal to reach $1,000 or $1,000, our $500,000 goal. People,
Right.
girls go.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Too early.
Yeah. Clubs were already doing fabulous things, but they didn't count under the Dream It, Be It program or the Live Your Dream program. So they decided to find a way, how can we count all the women and girls that you were helping already in your community that will help us reach our big goal. So I'm Tracy Edwards, your Federation Program Chair, and I'm excited to share the Impact Pillar presentation with you today. We're going to be discussing ways that we can all increase the number of women and girls that our clubs reach through Big Goal Accelerator projects. We will also hear some exciting ideas from clubs who qualified for Best in Federation awards last year and what made their programs successful. So, what is the big goal? Our big goal is to invest in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education by 2031. As of the end of our 2023-24 club year, we were 18.6% of the way to that number, having reached 93,085 women and girls since 2021. Just 406,915 to go, or fewer if you provided your BGAP projects to SIA before the deadline of June 30th. Back in 2020, SIA headquarters crunched the numbers to see how much we'd need to increase our impact by each year for each of our programs, Live Your Dream, Dream It, Be It, and Big Goal Accelerator. These targets may change over time if we're doing better than planned or moving slightly behind schedule, but they serve as a good roadmap to guide us toward achieving our big goal. Does anyone know the percentage we need to increase this year to hit our Big Goal Accelerator project?
15?
No, luckily not that high. In order to reach our big goal on time, we need to increase the number of women and girls reached by Big Goal Accelerator projects by 10% annually. That means approximately 50,000 women and girls will participate in Big Goal Accelerator projects. For all of SIA, the BGAP target is helping 32,222 women. For S&R, the BGAP target is 176 women. That means each club would need to help about 1.59 women more, but we can do better than that this year. An important thing to keep in mind as you consider all of these tips is an open mind. If your club has tried something in the past that wasn't successful in reaching more women and girls, that doesn't mean it won't be if you try again. A positive attitude and trying new things could help push us over the threshold to achieve our big goal. Wouldn't it be cool if we helped more than 500,000 women and girls? Many of the tips previously shared in your Live Your Dream session and those that will be shared in the upcoming Dream It Be It session also apply to Big Goal Accelerator projects. And we always encourage clubs to look at their existing projects to see what they can change or add to be eligible. But if your club is considering starting a new project, a key tip with Big Goal Accelerator projects is to choose projects that have the potential to reach many women and girls. For example, if your club can either buy 2 laptops for 2 low-income girls to attend college, or you can host a class on interviewing and job skills for 50 low-income girls, the class would have a larger reach in numbers. Another great project to consider, did I miss one? No, okay. Another great project is to consider providing menstrual products directly to low-income schools, foster care facilities, shelters, community colleges, and other organizations in your area. You may have to estimate the number of beneficiaries with this kind of project when you report it to SIA headquarters, but it's an easy way to reach potentially thousands and to help women and girls stay in school or attend work. So, of course, if your club has an existing project that you love doing, but it doesn't reach a large audience, such as a scholarship that you could give to one person per year, you don't have to stop doing it. I just encourage you to think outside the box of how you can reach many more women and girls through that project. What can you take today from what you've learned to expand that project? One example of a successful Big Goal Accelerator project comes to us from the Japan Higashi region. Esai Niigata Nishi had an ongoing relationship with a children's home for children in foster care where they had offered fun activities for younger children, like taking them on day trips to the aquarium. They wanted to add a component that would be eligible for the Big Goal. Since children typically must leave the group home after they graduate high school, they often have little to no support while in college and are very busy working to support themselves. The club decided to provide 2 scholarships for the young adult women who had lived in this group home to provide higher education support, with 1 scholarship assisting those already enrolled in college and 1 to provide support for high school seniors with expenses to pay for their entrance exams for college. One recipient reported, "The scholarship was a great help to me as I have no support from my parents and I have been offered a job after graduation next March." So this is a great example of a club that has taken what they're already doing and adding a component that's eligible for the Big Goal. Another example of a successful Big Goal Accelerator project comes to us from the Midwestern region. SI Bloomington offered a 6-week session with 8 women who have experienced incarceration. They included topics that helped them plan for a positive future, gave them tips about educational opportunities, encouraged positive self-talk and resiliency, and encouraged financial management at a level that they are experiencing. The members concluded with a fun celebration certificate and a gift, and with mutual appreciation of the program. So this is a great example of a club that has taken a subset of women facing obstacles and created a project for the Big Goal. Another great project to consider is providing STEAM education directly to low-income schools, foster care facilities, shelters, community colleges, and other organizations in your area. Again, you may have to estimate the number of beneficiaries with this kind of project when you report it to SIA headquarters. But it's an easy way to reach potentially thousands and to help those girls stay in school. So here's a program, an idea that's closer to home and was submitted this year as a BCAP project. SI Truckee Meadows already provides a STEAM program for 3rd through 5th grade girls at an at-risk elementary school. This year, the girls learned about robot programming and the use of engineering process to solve problems through testing and reprogramming. Girls worked in teams to direct robots to perform predetermined functions and create their own robot actions using block coding. So let's run through some scenarios to see if they would qualify as BCAP. And if they don't, what can we do to change them to ensure that they do? So to be eligible, club and region work must meet all of the following criteria. Working only with women and girls who are facing obstacles who are not already served by or counted under the DREAM programs. Provide access to formal education with the ultimate goal of economic empowerment. Be a Soroptimist-led, that's very important, Soroptimist-led hands-on project. And of course, report it to SIA through the official reporting link. So the first one is teaching financial literacy classes to women for an organization that provides empowerment training, like classes like women's empowerment. So this doesn't count because it's not Soroptimist-led. The class is being taught by a Soroptimist, but a Soroptimist club isn't hosting the overall training event. And it also doesn't directly remove a barrier to education or employment. So you could adjust that, it's going too fast. Have your club host the workshops and also teach how to write a resume, interviewing skills, how to research colleges, and then apply to them. Here's another scenario. Providing self-defense, healthy cooking, and wellness classes to disadvantaged women. So this one does not provide the access to education or employment, so this would not be a good BGAP project. So what adjustment could be made? Also offer a resume writing and interview skill class along with other classes. Hosting a trafficking awareness event. That by itself doesn't provide access to education or employment or lead to economic empowerment. So what can we do? Host the computer training, resume writing, or interval skills training workshops to traffic women or gender violence survivors. What about offering scholarships for college to any high school student wanting to enter a STEM career? It's close, but obstacles to education are not considered, and it's open to any gender. So if you did this, you would specify the scholarship is for girls only. What about paying for testing fees for educational exams, application fees for colleges, or professional licensures for women or girls facing obstacles? Yes, because it removes a barrier to education, it's empowering, it's focused on women and girls facing obstacles, and it's Soroptimist-led. And the last one, helping homeless or at-risk high school girls apply for college or a vocational school by offering time on a computer and helping them through the application process. So yes, because it removes a barrier to education. Like the other one, it's empowering, it's focused on women and girls facing obstacles, and it's Soroptimist-led. So how can your club reach more women and girls? I'd like everyone to take a moment and think about what you'd like to recommend to your club to do differently going forward to reach women and girls. What program will you focus on, and what tactics will you recommend? So if you want to take a minute to think about that, I'm going to see if I can pause. And if you want to just think about that, and maybe drop down some ideas that what are you already doing in your club that you could add a component to that would make it a Big Goal Accelerator project? Okay, I'll give you about 30 seconds more. Okay, now I'd like you to turn to the person next to you and share your thoughts and ideas. Or you can ask that person for help brainstorming if you were unsure of something. So I'll give you a few minutes for that. Okay, I'll give you one more minute. Okay, would anyone like to share what they're planning to do or something that your neighbor suggested? Who has something they want to share with the group?
Catherine and I were talking, and in Rancho Cordova, we have a market that does like craft fairs and different booths that you can set up, and putting out information about Soroptimist and the different types of things that we offer to girls and women would be a good way. And
yes, and also to take a more direct approach and go directly to a high school, and let them know that we can fund some of the applications for college.
Okay. Anyone else? I can share with you some ideas that were submitted this past club year and approved. So SI Woodland, they have a continued education award that provides additional funds to their first place high school scholarship for young women recipients for the next 3 years, assuming that they would still be enrolled in college. Each year, they have 3 women still receiving funds after having received their high school scholarship as a first place recipient. So that's a great idea. You've already looked at the applications, you know who's done a great job, so you awarded them scholarships. And so to continue to help them on their educational journey by just checking in with them. They want to make sure that they're still enrolled in college, and if they are and they need funds, then they'll help them for the next 3 years. And then they also have a Gals with Goals project led by SI Woodland and empowered young women through mentorship. Successful professionals shared their journeys, challenges, inspiring participants to pursue their dreams. Through interactive displays and meaningful conversations, the program fostered confidence, resilience, and career exploration, encouraging young women and girls to keep striving despite facing obstacles. And then SI Quincy has a program where they take their Live Your Dream applicant runner-ups and further encourage their goals of higher education by giving them $100 each, encouraging them and offering mentoring. SI Woodland has another scholarship. It's designed for women who have a 2.0 or better GPA, who have experienced obstacles to education, but are still thriving and planning to pursue a post-high school education, be it at a vocational school or college. And they must demonstrate a financial need. There's a question in the back.
Yeah, so for the Woodlands one, when you had said that for their Live Your Dream scholarships, they give their runner-ups $100. Yesterday in the Live Your Dream workshop, she recommended not doing that because they're ineligible for Live Your Dream the next year.
It's a gap award. It's a gap award.
So they have to change it to a different name.
We did.
Did you want to talk a little bit about that, Jen?
So what it is we continue to follow our Live Your Dream Award winners. Not all, well, anyway. And then we call it a gap award, and what we do is we follow up with them, and if there's an additional need, it's not Live Your Dream.
Okay.
This is a separate award, but we're following our Live Your Dream
Okay, well, what
recipients.
she said it was.
Yeah,
So I
so,
was making sure.
yeah, no.
But you have already counted that person in Live Your Dream, so you cannot count them again.
No, exactly, we don't.
Right.
This is a separate award altogether. And we, like I said, we call it the gap award because they don't qualify for Live Your Dream. They don't qualify for our high school scholarship, but there's a gap there where they need a little bit more
The
assistance.
gap in support.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that too.
And that's a great idea because you have already gotten their references, they filled out the information, and they just weren't your best pick for your Live Your Dream. Does anyone want to share any other ideas? Projects that they already have and are thinking of changing to add a BGAP component in the back?
Yeah, we have our regular high school stuff and we are a small community with a continuation school and also a group at the college that have formed their own S club after they came out of school. They were like, why don't we have one? So they actually formed their little S club at the college. So I think on our scholarship to our community college, we definitely can continue 3 years after with a gap type thing. Because most of them were there 2-3 years anyway. And as students going through the scholarship with the S Club, I think that's gonna be a really good start. The same with our Mount Tlac continuation school. We have individual scholarships for vocational. We have monthly rewards. So definitely if we add a little more to this, we can qualify those.
So I'm with SIL Grove, and a couple of years ago, we had a president's project that was called Soaring to Success. And we have 3 continuation high schools. And so each semester, the counselor recommends a young lady to our president, who's in charge of the Soaring to Success program. And this is a girl who's had a difficult back life, you know, whether it's domestic abuse or trafficking, but she's still excelling in school. And so we want to recognize that and cheer her on. So in addition to the $100 gift certificate and the certificate, which doesn't count as BGAP, our president is also working with them on their transcripts to make sure that they have enough credits to be able to go on to college. And by adding that component, we were able to submit it for a BGAP. This is driving me crazy. Idell.
So, the Sacramento Club is very fortunate to have received endowment funds years ago from somebody for capital projects. So not for programs, but for capital projects. And there's Academy Stay, who is a place for foster youths that have aged out and they're now continuing their education. It's a place where they all live and that has a program. It's a new program for them. So we were able to use these capital funds to buy e-bikes for the young women so that they had transportation to school. And also helmets, locks, and a place to store them, like a shed, as part of a capital project that also qualified as an accelerator
So that's really cool that you have this separate pot of money and you're using it to help women get to college. So that's awesome. Does anyone else have a project they want to share or an idea that they're thinking that maybe they could do that in this club year?
Could you show the first scenario that you have on the sheet? I think it was skipped, and I'm curious how that could, why it would,
Why it wasn't?
it was the period poverty?
Oh, you're talking about one of the,
Yeah, the one
Okay.
before that? If there,
It's on the sheet, but it's not
Oh,
on
okay,
the
that's why.
slides. Tracy.
okay, this one. So
No,
from
the period poverty one?
yes. Providing menstrual products directly to low-income schools, foster care facilities, shelters, community colleges, and other organizations in your area. So it's interesting because one of our clubs in District 3, SI Rancho Cordova Gold River, had submitted their Comfort Kits project for Big Goal Accelerator project. And they got denied. And they felt like this is helping young girls stay in school. They're working with Title I schools. And so they submitted more information about what they're doing, as well as including information, and then it was approved.
So it was giving just more education about it?
Yes.
Okay, so adding the education component.
How Gen X are getting started with
We had one discussion yesterday about that. We had a project that we did. And somebody mentioned that if we added a few how-to steps on the back for the young ladies, maybe a card with, just 5 simple steps, what to do with the project, package we made for them, that it would then qualify. But we got the grant for it, so I don't know, does that matter? If we ask for a grant for one of those kind of projects, then can we still report it?
You would still be able to report that. Any other suggestions? So we're early. I guess I talked faster than I did in my test. So since we're, does anyone have any other questions about the Big Goal Accelerator project? I don't.
I just wanted to say that I have one less sign-in than the number of people here. So if you didn't sign the sign-in sheet, please raise your hand and I'll bring it by.
Thank you for keeping track.
Sorry.
So since we have some more time to talk, has anyone heard about the Corporate Engagement Opportunity Program? It's available on the SNR website, and I have little QR codes. So the Corporate Engagement Opportunity helps you with membership, fundraising, and public awareness. So they already have a letter template, an introductory letter that you would give to a business asking them to be one of their corporate engagement clients. They have a press release template. They have FAQs about it, and then what the benefits are that you would share with the company that you're approaching. You'd need to do a little work ahead of time because you'd want to decide how much money you want to get and what you're offering. So you would certainly include the price of dues, and maybe you want to, say that they could have one of their employees be a member, so that's increasing your membership, or maybe for a larger amount, then 2 members, 2 employees can be members of your club. You would be advertising them on your Facebook, your website, Instagram, Twitter, on your flyers for your events, and anywhere else you post your information about your events. So then there's the public awareness part of it, and then fundraising with you know, are you gonna offer them, if you give us $350, this is what you'll get for that. So you do wanna have a little committee ahead of time to decide what you think that CEO is worth. And then you would, of course, promote them at your events. So is anyone trying this already? Has anyone heard of it before now? So I've been trying to get this going in my club for a couple of years. And this is the year I'm going to do it. As I told Idell, even if I have to do it myself, I will have a little committee first to figure out what we should ask for and what we're giving them. And they have really nice graphics, promotional information that you don't have to recreate. You just add your club number, you know, club name and your contact information. And if you're uncomfortable doing it by yourself, you can always, you know, grab one of your Soroptimist friends and go with you. So there's strength in numbers. So I'm gonna do it this year so that maybe I can report back next year, because, you know, with clubs having a hard time finding members, this is a great way, because they're already in your community. And hopefully these organizations and businesses already know about you. They already know what your mission is. And so, Idell?
So our club in Sacramento does not do that right now, but we have done it 3 times in the past. And and those members, or actually one of the members had been a district director and stayed with the club, but she's with a different company now, and so we no longer have that corporate sponsor. But what we offered them were those things that you said, you know, you get an ad in our program for any fundraiser we have, and you're promoted on our website, and all of those other benefits that you said. The 3 that we had, one was a mortgage company, and so they had a loan officer who was our member. One was an advertising company, which was like
Yeah.
manna from heaven to have a person with those skills be an active member. And anyway, the company hit hard times, you know, and then when things were blooming again, they never came back. And then the 3rd one was someone who worked for a retirement home, and then the home got sold to a different owner. but they were very successful when we had them. They were active members. In fact, that member was in charge of our website, because she did the website at that retirement home and had that expertise.
Well, and so, you know, I had earlier talked about you promoting them, but because they have employees who are Soroptimist members, they are going to be promoting you and your events and your mission as well. And I know we've had a couple of members who are golden members who joined years ago. Their company paid for them to be a member. It just wasn't called the Corporate Engagement Opportunity Program.
We've had a lot of outside sponsors that we did a same event for 30 years. So it was always, you know, just for the event that we get our sponsors. We kind of changed it in the last few years, and we found that not everybody wanted to give $1,500 anymore, so they weren't sponsoring. And we give them all the ads and all that. But we were able to now come back where we've got an annual sponsorship for the 15. And then if they want to do one specific event, then it's $750, and we really highlight them through that event. And that seemed to help. Our thing with the members is basically all our sponsors come from a member connection or person.
Yes.
But we also, with highlighting them, like I work for a real estate company that sponsors us, and every year he offers us all the printing and paper, and there's so many things we can benefit from our sponsors if we stay engaged with them.
Mm-hmm. And even having the discussion with them, you know, how would you like us to promote you? So it's all there, there's links for everything, and, so I'm gonna do it this year. You are all my witnesses. In the back?
So, for SIA, when they become a corporate sponsor, or, the corporate engagement, on the back end, are those employees associated with that company, and then is it just one thing? Or how do you put those members in?
So the company would let you know who they want
Right.
as their representatives, in your club, and so it would be having them fill out the application,
And then
collecting.
And then you as a club can either waive that or pay for their dues or something.
The dues part would be incorporated into what you're asking them to give you as part of the CEO
So it's not
program.
like that. So I'm in other organizations for like Health Information Management System Society, and they call those OAs. So, organization affiliates, and so for instance, for the colleges, the college pays, the local HIMSS chapter $5,000, and in exchange, National lets us have all of their faculty and any students become members. And then on the back end, it's through Salesforce, and so that's under, let's say, University of Nevada, Reno, and all of those members are under University of Nevada, Reno's company, and they can have all of that, so when they're registered, so that's what I'm wondering, is on the back end, if it's like Salesforce. Cause it doesn't seem like, as a CIO, if you came to me and were like, hey, I want $1,500, but that includes only 2 memberships, but that $1,500 subtract the 2 memberships, that's not worth it.
But the advertising, because you're also including the advertising of that company at all of your events and on your printed materials, social media. I guess you just have to
Corporate's
sell
a lot
it.
bigger than what we actually
I just,
do with the interaction of our.
if you got a better discount on membership, or if you want lucrative, that's why I was wondering if like the clubs could supplement that, or like does Nationals do that, or something of that nature?
Well-
Because it's just not, companies don't really need our marketing.
True.
They have their marketing budget.
But if they wanna be good
Show support.
social
Yeah.
community members, and they like your mission. Who doesn't like women, girls, and education? Danielle?
Speaking to that, some industries, especially banking and healthcare and all that, they have a very specific outreach program that
Right.
they have to give a certain amount of money back to the community.
Depends on if they're private or.
It does,
Yeah.
but
I work for healthcare, so it just depends
Right.
on your federal.
yeah, exactly. And, being able to be involved with the club gives them the volunteer hours that they're hoping that their employees
I was
will
just
engage
wondering
with
from
as
a
well.
national level if there's like a more lucrative, because right now, the way it sits, it's not that.
If you wanted to go direct to SIA, they're open for corporate sponsors. But otherwise, I don't know that.
And it would all be what you negotiate individually with each of the companies.
And it gives that company visibility in the community, and that's usually why people sponsor our events or things like that. And so
Yes, so
to just have an employee involved is just one step deeper.
Yeah, so I actually work in healthcare, and they sponsor me to be in Soroptimist, and they sponsor our events. And so it's just the ask for them to make them feel involved in the community and to make them feel like they're getting something out of it too. Well, if they're putting out more money than they may be getting in return, they see it as helping the
But
community.
that's different, because they're sponsoring you, and then they're sponsoring like the event. This ask is more of, we want to, the way I'm reading it is, you want them to like help participate, maybe we have a signature event where like Period Poverty is sponsored by ITS Logistics, and more of that.
Well, and it's all what you wanna negotiate. So it could be them actually volunteering at one of your events. If you're doing a community event where you need a lot of volunteers, that could be one of the bullet items in your, and they also have a sample agreement. So it's not like you have to make this up in your mind. You can edit the agreement and make it specific. But you're helping them with goodwill in the community. And I would recommend going to your Chamber of Commerce if you don't already belong to them. They have a list of their members. You can go through that list and, depending on the categories, what you're gonna focus on initially, and then go from there. You can ask for, women-owned businesses.
So that brings up the question. Yeah, our period project, daughter that chose clothing line, Tort Clothing LLC sponsored it. She gave them the materials, she gave them the patterns. She gives us scholarships. She's a woman-owned corporation. And so how do I say that's a corporate capital? You just, so you go in here and you just apply. I mean, what does that do for us? What should we do about that?
So that QR code leads you directly to the SNR webpage that has all the information about the corporate engagement opportunity
So it
program.
gives credit to Soroptimist for having it done, right? Is that what that is?
It'd be like an in-kind. Okay.
A report, like we won a bunch of awards last year. Like we said, if you don't tell you guys we're doing it, they don't know. So,
Yeah, but that's not
so this
good.
is something that we should tell that we're doing. Okay.
I don't think so.
And you'd certainly wanna, promote that new partnership in your local newspaper, or, I know our community has Facebook businesses that are all about promoting what's going on in the community. And so it's a great program that you don't have to, create yourself, and it will help you with membership, fundraising, and public awareness. And then you're also sharing with them your dream programs, what they're doing, and maybe one of their employees will come and be a speaker at either your meeting or through your Dream It, Be It sessions. So I highly recommend it. How many people are gonna try and do it this year? Good. All right, so right here is the QR code for Tech Talks. And so you can keep up with SIA's tech transformation progress by visiting the hashtag Tech Talks Learning Hub. They also have FAQs, video demos, and how-to, so that we can all be on the same page as we move forward. Does anyone have any questions?
I went to the Uplifter workshop yesterday, and one of the facilitators mentioned that either the Big Goal Accelerator, part of it or all of it was so that Soroptimist would have statistics to show to big funders. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So it's really hard to go and get a grant and not have any data behind it. Where if you're doing those quarterly Uplift Her projects, period poverty and domestic violence and all, if you are doing that in your community and you can track how many women you're benefiting, and it is a Soroptimist-led project, and you make sure that you have the educational component in it, that can count as a Big Goal Accelerator project. So they're already giving you 4 ideas during the year that you can plan ahead to do that.
So that is the purpose of the Big Goal Accelerator.
I think it's to help the Big Goal Accelerator project so that you're not having to, struggle for ideas of, okay, we're already doing this, but, and it doesn't meet the criteria. What can we add to meet the criteria? And so they're already telling you, these are 4 areas that you can use. And does everyone know about Charity Navigator and GuideStar? And those are online platforms where you can go and search, how well a charity is doing, if they have a good rating or not. So, one of the foundations I belong to, we give out scholarships. And I went and looked and we only had 2 stars. Well, we can't go out and get large money if you only have 2 stars. And so, it's just putting your information out there, what your policies are. You wanna make sure that you have your financial information in there, and you know, have more than one line about what you do. And then it's so much easier to go out and look for those large grants from organizations and businesses and people, because you've got the data to back it up. And you're showing that you're, you know, these are all the women and girls that you are helping. Any other questions? All right, I want to thank everyone for coming today and sharing and participating today. And I hope that you're inspired to take back some of these ideas to help in your club. And I look forward to seeing you at conference next year or at your fall district meeting. Thank you.